What's up, guys? Studfit here, episode 49 of Kart Talk. We're closing in on 50 episodes of Kart Talk. I can't believe it. We'll do something special for episode 52, which means if you think about it, 52 weeks in a year, it'll be our 2-year anniversary of Kart Talk. Can't believe. I think we might have missed maybe one over the last 2 years, but obviously I couldn't have done it with a lot of these people. These are some of my best friends here in the Mario Kart Tour community. So I'm happy to welcome back some familiar faces. If you haven't met everyone here, we'll go around the horn and just tell a little bit about what you enjoy about the game. I think this year more than others, there's a certain burning passion that keeps you coming back to the game. Obviously, you know, we're this game is no longer new, but we still have those childlike love for the game still. So if you can, we'll start with you, Frenzy fans, because you guys have been a supporter from day one, along with Kareem. I'll have just Frenzy fans, Kareem, and then Hero, since you guys are all our super studs. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and if you have a channel, then mention that, and let the fans know at home what keeps you coming back to the game every single day.
Go ahead, Frenzy fangirl.
Oh man, I was hoping you'd go first.
Ladies first.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. Frenzy Fans is the YouTube channel. Hang out with us. What keeps us coming back to the game? I've said it a bunch, but I love how it resets every 2 weeks. I love that it's the renewed content, the new competition, and it never gets boring for me. So that's why I come back all the time.
Yeah, I really like Bowser. So, you know, once or twice a year, I get excited there's a Bowser tour that comes, but then my hopes are dashed when there's no new Bowser alt. So hopefully sometime in the next 5 years we'll get like an 8-bit Bowser or something, and that 2 weeks will be the best 2 weeks of my life.
That's pretty sad, but I support it. It wasn't the weeks that we met or anything like that.
No.
It was when Bowser came to the tour.
No,
Yeah.
we got married.
I mean, we got priorities. I'm with you
totally.
Kareem, we'll jump over to you, man. Tell the people at home, and also let them know where you're calling from, because I think we have some unique spots on the map joining us today. But yeah, let the fans know who have been living under a rock. Your name, you know, where you're calling from, and what keeps you coming back to the game.
Well, yeah, I'm Kareem, or Kanye East in the game. From calling from West London, and pretty much a day 10 player, or whenever the blue Billy Buggy had to bring that in, of course, came out just after that. And I don't know, yeah, like as Frenzy Fangirl mentioned, the whole renewal thing, I was actually thinking, you know, those Wednesday mornings, getting up at 6 a.m. and all that, if they did that every week, like, would that be too much, or would that be better or something? I don't know. I'm actually a little bit, my brain's a bit frazzled because I'm on a top 10 sort of run at the moment. And if you check your phones right now, it will currently say I'm number one. I'm actually not, but nobody knows that until I've just told them that.
Yeah, what do you get for that? Do you get anything?
Yeah, I got a screenshot, mate.
Screenshot. There you
go. But no, like, what I really enjoy, the reason I keep coming back is because I've gotten to know, it was Sammy was the first one, and then yourself, and then Frenzy fans. One of the things actually I would say is I watch quite a few of the Frenzy fans videos, but I don't get as much interaction with them because time zones, and I'm always just seem to come on right at the end to just help them at multiplayer and help Frenzy Fangirl just get it, or, you know, or Frenzy Fangirl get like Kart Pro or something like that, which I love to do.
Eighth is a new
very,
first.
very funny, very funny people. And then I've spent a lot more time getting familiar with Matt's videos, you know, because I think he seems to be quite like me, which is very data analytical, you know, been getting into his, I'll let him explain what he does, but been very much involved in that. But yeah, like, it's all the people. Like, if you guys didn't exist and I was just playing this game like I play chess on my phone, it would be nothing more than that. It's the people I'm around, and it's the constant building of an account, the thought that I'm building blocks upon blocks upon blocks. You know, that's what I love about it. And then telling all you people, look what I did. Yeah. And as Frenzy Fangirl rightly says, no one really cares, but in that moment it feels extra special. So I don't mean that in a bad way, but yeah. So that's kind of my relationship with the game.
And I need to give Kareem a shout out because for the past, I don't know, like 6 months, my style of gameplay is to like log on 2 hours before the end of tour, like do all my multiplayer. And he consistently jumps on every single time and gets 8th place so I can get all my pipes. It was great.
Nice. I was wondering why you were S+1 or something like that. You were F series on the multiplayer. It was Sack, take one for the team, right, Kareem?
What are you talking about?
I'm joking with you.
Insulted.
Totally had me there. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I totally would be. I'm terrible at multiplayer. It's horrendous. That's why I don't attend. Multiplayer Monday multiplayer madness. It's because I'll do terribly. I can't let the good.
It's all right. I do terribly every week. So you probably beat me.
No, Kareem, you were on fire during the multiplayer madness Monday. I don't know what you're talking about. Back in the good old days.
We're in the good old days, man. Shut up, son.
Well, yeah, this is a good transition. We'll go from Kareem to Kareem's #1 fan, as you can see there in the title. So, Hero, tell the people at home a little bit about yourself, where you're calling from, and then also mention a little bit about the special occasion that you're joining us and why you've begged Kareem to join us for 2 Kart Talks in a row.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Hero, but my middle name is Kareem's #1 fan. If you guys notice, he keeps mentioning about me as the #1 fan, so that's why I really wanted him there. And specifically because I've known him for 2 years, and we've been starting to get very close, like during the COVID eras, and we still talk here and there at times. And I remember we would always do the tour preview as well, like back when I was in LA. It was like 10 at night over there, and then I think over in his time it's like 6 in the morning or 7 a.m. So it's really convenient. And and obviously I went for top 10 last tour, so obviously we'll talk more about that. But yeah, that's the whole reason why I'm here, obviously. And Kareem's is one of my biggest supporters, like always. So that's pretty much it.
Well done, buddy. Very well done. Did it with ease as well.
Oh yeah.
You guys crushed it. Kareem, it just seems like automatic. I know it's a lot of work, just like everyone else who goes for it for the first time, but you just make it look easy. And Hero's got the skills, and he's obviously not quite as much of a whale as yourself or even as I am. So when he goes into it, he's got to save and everything like that, like pedestrians, right? That don't have like a monster account, but he did a great job, and honestly, we're proud of both of you. You guys are honestly, I'm jealous a little bit and deep down inside, but I'm also more than that proud. So great job, guys. Appreciate you guys as members of ER and love what you guys are doing. Good. We'll also transition to non-super studs, but super studs in my heart. And that is Matt Allridge and Avi Quado. How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks, Stud. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So we'll start with you, Matt. Tell the people at home a little bit about yourself, where you're calling from. You have a shameless plug on your channel, and let the people know exactly what keeps you coming back to the game.
Yeah, thanks, Stud. So probably people know my face by now, hopefully, and have subscribed to the channel. But I do a bit of Mario Kart Tour content, which is really fun. I started it just over a year ago now, so been going on the channel, actively trying to grow the subs and put out videos all the time, and it's been really fun. About a year ago is when I went for top 1000 for the first time, really joined Discord for the first time. And Frenzy fans, I have you guys to thank for finding Discord and going from like, what is this? This is like a crazy Slack that's super confusing to like, oh, wow, there's like an amazing community here. And then, 6 months ago, building my own Discord community, which was a bit of a spur of the moment decision. Now we've got over 250 members, so that's pretty cool. to see. And I'm very excited for next tour with obviously being a Luigi fan, seeing a new Luigi, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as well. But my channel is very much focused on strategy, numbers, what got buffed. That's probably the core thing. If you want to know what got buffed and what items are doing well, then that's the core content that the channel is making. I think the game itself, the reason that I started, the reason that I keep playing, the reason that I haven't quit is I think it's just, for me, it's just the most convenient game. I'm someone that was literally looking for a game that I could play while I was holding my newborn baby. That's how I found the game. I need a game that I can play when I'm sitting there for hours trying to rock my child to sleep. And I found Mario Kart Tour by accident, trying to find an emulator to play old Nintendo 64 Mario Kart, which is my nostalgic period of Mario Kart. And I randomly found Mario Kart Tour, and I still find to this day, you can watch TV, you can play the game, you can sit in the doctor's waiting room and play the game, or whatever the case might be. And that convenience keeps me coming back. The second thing, of course, the community, absolutely agree with everything Kareem said around that. And then I think the last thing is, I've actually been playing some different games in the last couple of weeks. I've been getting into some, let me know if you've ever played this game, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on Game Boy Advance. I was definitely a Game Boy Advance player. Really fun game. It's kind of like an RPG, but it's Mario and Luigi. You get to play as both the characters at the same time, kind of like Double Dash. And it's a really fun game because it's actually challenging. Turn-based battles, but like live action stuff as well. And I think that's, like, it hit me. I was like, this is a great game. And the reason why is because it keeps challenging you to work on your skills. You have to think strategically about what you're going to do next, about what you're going to invest in, about how you're going to use items and stuff like that. And so that's what I love about Mario Kart Tour. It's much more than a racing game. It's really fun because it keeps your mind engaged. And so, yeah, I still love it 2.5 years later, and we'll hopefully keep loving it until the day that it hopefully never dies.
Love it, man. Yeah, that's a wonderful intro. And then Avocado, by the way, Matt, did you mention you're from New Zealand, right? That's where.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning here. Excuse me if I've got a bit of morning voice, but yeah, it's 6 a.m. So not too bad.
Well, I was going to say, geographically, the next one. This is my poor attempt at a segue. The next person who's closest to you geographically would be Avi, who's calling from Hawaii. So a little bit, you're kind of bridging the gap between us and New Zealand. How you doing, Avi?
I'm good. I'm dealing with very Hawaiian problems. It's called VOG, which is basically the volcano is spewing ash. And so everyone around us, including myself, has a bad of allergies because of the ash in the air.
Wow. I didn't know that was just like
again. Otherwise, very good. It is a thing.
It makes you feel better. We have some fires.
I mean, even though I know we were feeling left out, so we needed to do something about it. But obviously not as dramatic. We never get as bad. I mean, unless you live on the Big Island, which I don't. But yeah, not as bad, definitely. It's just in the air. You actually don't see it. It's more like, then all of a sudden you wake up. It's like, what is going on? Like, you hardly get any kind of like respiratory anything over here, obviously. But yeah, it's kind of like what's going on today in Hawaii.
We'll keep that in mind. Tell the fans at home what you enjoy about the game, and a little about your playing style. And you've been going after top 100 since last heard you on the Kart Talk. You've been just on a tear.
Yeah, I was just telling you recently that I was going for top 100 last tour. And then all of a sudden I realized I just kept grinding and did not kept checking anything. And then all of a sudden I found myself in top 50. I was like, no way. And I did it. I made it. That was really nice. I don't know that I'm gonna get that high this tour, especially with the short tracks that we're having. But it's been a challenging one. It was sneakily challenging. I didn't realize it was going to be this challenging this tour, but also top 100 this tour, I think. And what I enjoy about the game, and now it's become a thing, the top 100 thing. It's like, oh, it's a constant chase. Which for me, that I'm so competitive, it's always a thing. But just like everyone else has said, is, you know, that refresh every 2 weeks of getting new stuff, and even if sometimes it feels repetitive, it is still new. There's always something to look forward to, either a track that's coming back, or a new track, or a new driver, or a new item, which is something that I appreciate about the game. And just a sense of community, being on Discord and like sharing your games with everyone and strategies with everyone. And I am a lot into, even though I'm definitely not a math geek like Kareem is, I really enjoy the whole aspect around with the sheets and seeing how we can play with them for our better efficiency, I would say. I think we've gotten really deep into
Oh no.
I think we've lost her.
I
Okay.
think it's her
I wasn't sure if it was
microphone.
my connection or.
Yeah.
our different sheets.
I,
Can you hear me now?
I can pretty
No?
much tell you what she was saying.
Get an interpreter. Go ahead.
No. I'm sure she'll get her connection back. It's just we've done quite a lot of collaborative stuff on those. Are you back, Avi?
Am I back? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a slight connection. It might be fine now, but it was just a little choppy there. But I think it might be okay now. We'll try again.
All right. What I was saying is that it might have been my dog too. What I was
Same thing.
Oh, it's
Oh,
happening.
here we
Oh, now you're muted. Oh,
I think your mic goes
Same.
out.
that seems like a different issue. That seems like your mic. Before it was just like.
Or maybe the dog is under there.
saying is that with hold on, it might be my computer.
Yeah, now
I'm
we can
gonna
hear
come
you.
back. Can you hear me now?
We'll blame the volcano.
No.
We
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay. What I was saying is that we get into a lot into how to play the game outside the game, meaning analyzing how to best be efficient, not only about our time but our resources, and really deep into how we are on ourselves as individuals being better every time and within that tour. So that's a lot of what attracts me lately about the game, is that we get really geeky about it, and I appreciate it a lot.
We love the data gurus, the nerds. That's what this channel absolutely loves. So I think we all can appreciate that. Well, good. Appreciate everyone's introduction there. We did have a little icebreaker here. So we just got reaction to, by the way, we're recording this on Friday. We did find out this morning that we will have a versus tour. For those who didn't catch the data mining like a week ago, we have a Mario versus Luigi tour. So we thought the icebreaker might be good to discuss. What is your versus record? So you can see if you go into your name, you select your badges in the top left corner. You can scroll down, all these versus badges are together, except for apparently the first one where a silver badge was not given out. So some of us were, Kareem called out, he's like, I think I have more badges than you guys. I think I've been a part of more versus. So we were all looking it up. And so, yeah, the first one did not have a silver badge. So Kareem, I'll let you start, since you apparently have more badges than us, and who knows, maybe even Sammy D. We'll have to do a recount.
So yeah, out of the 9, won the first one, Mario, and then Gold Peach, and then Gold Bowser. And then I think this is when they introduced that really silly rule, which is the losing team gets double points or whatever, which I think is the most ridiculous thing. Like, I would rather see one team lose, 95% the 5, because if that's what it is, rather than basically having it as a toss up to who's losing on the day before the tour ends. Anyway, that's just, so at the 9 tours, I apparently have 7 golds and only 2 silvers. The second Mario tour and the Luigi one. I got a Luigi one. So the third Mario Luigi tour, I suppose, I went with Team Luigi and got the silver. So yeah, 7 out of 9, not bad, not remotely thought of or anything. So it's just complete luck, really.
Yeah, gotta love that. We'll go from you again back to Kareem's #1 fan, Hero. How many you got? What's your versus record?
I'm trying to figure that out. So like you said, we have 9 in total, or
8 or 9.
You may have 8. If you got second place in that first versus tour. I mean, if you were on Team Luigi.
yeah, I've gotten all golds, but I only got 7 badges. So my assumption is, oh yeah, I remember, like the first Mario versus Luigi tour, I picked Team Luigi, so I didn't get a badge. And then the Peach versus Daisy tour, I chose Team Daisy, so I didn't get a badge either. So so yeah, but I got all golds. So
Okay, all golds, but 7 out of 9 as well.
mhm.
It is kind of cool that you got all gold though. I can't say that. Let's go with you, Frenzy fans. How'd you guys fare in the versus tours?
So I am the exact same as Kareem, except I didn't get that first badge. So I am 6 for 8, and I lost the same ones he did, which were I guess it would be the second Mario and the third Luigi are the ones I chose.
Yeah.
Well, just I'll get to you, Frenzy fans guy, but I have the same exact. So it's interesting. I've lost every single Mario versus Luigi. I just picked, and it's never like I'm going back to the well. I'm literally flipping as everyone else is flopping. It's very awkward, but yeah, gold everything except for I picked Team Luigi to start, and then the second time went with Team Mario and lost, and then last Team Luigi and lost, and now I feel like I have to go Team Mario and lose again, just to keep the tradition going. But Frenzy fan guy, hopefully you didn't follow the same pattern as your better half.
Well, I don't know. I kind of hear you guys talking about how it's like you just kind of randomly choose something and, like you kind of end up on the losing team. I think that there's kind of a lot of the discussion and even like strategy on like picking the team where your coin boxers aren't going to get the tokens, right? So that you can get better ranked in ACR scores. And so I think that for a lot of us, like that's been kind of like the deciding factor, and then like it doesn't really matter like what type of badge we get. But yeah, I'm currently like 4 and 5.
It's a really good excuse. Oh yeah, I did that for my
No. But I think, do you remember back when it was like the Waluigi one where I was like, I'm gonna pick the one where it's easier to see the tokens because of all these dark ones. I'm gonna go with the orange one. Like it doesn't really have anything to do with like the character anymore. It's just
I will say though, one of the arguments we've had here on Kart Talk, I'm gonna concede a little bit. One of the conversations we've had is that we pick the coin box drivers, or we pick the team that has the least number of coin box drivers we've invested in because of the red coins, and it is established that red coins will be replaced by tokens, and so there is a benefit. And I personally, I can tell whenever I have a run and I'm getting like a double coin box, double single, and I'm finishing with like 10 less actions than I normally would. I know that there is there. However, I remember being on the battle track with the Me Tour, and I could see multiple coins all next to each other, and the tokens actually do have a wider hitbox than the coin. So I think we had a couple arguments about that. I will concede it does seem that the tokens do have a wider coin box or I guess what do you call a hitbox of a
Box.
coin?
Yeah.
But for whatever it is, for whatever reason, I don't know if that helps you pick it up better or not. I just
Yeah.
assumed that it would, but it does look visibly a little bit bigger than the coin. It just for whatever
I
reason doesn't
agree.
translate to the score.
But it's
think-
also
Yeah.
the trajectory of the coins. More than anything, it's like the coins on some track will just fly. Tokens for versatiles tend to behave a little bit better, but when it's your generic green tokens from your standard token pipe,
Mhm.
like honestly, if you ever do a race in 250cc, like I'm not kidding, you can fly like half a lap almost sometimes if you're going up somewhere. So like it's so hard to control the spread of the tokens. That more than anything to me is the
Okay.
biggest the biggest
Yeah,
thing.
I agree.
Do you mean
Sorry, I was
200cc or 250cc?
Sorry, it was like a random concession there that no one asked for, but I did feel like I owed that to you when I saw it there, because I think there's something about that going at like that slow speed on a battle track where I was like, okay, they are bigger. It's hard to tell like when they're spread out, but like next to each other, it did look very, very clear.
I was just going to add, if to Kanye's point, if it's a tour with lots of straightaways, lots of tracks with lots of straight sections, then you actually want tokens because they cluster together. There's more of them. You can pick up more actions if you're going straight, but you have to get the right sequence for that. So as a general rule, we've got a lot of windy tracks now. So you want those red coins when there's windy tracks, and you want to use the coin box not only on straightaways, but also at the right moment on a curve, and also going down hills so that they sit right in front of you. So that's kind of the typical traditional way of using coin box with those red coins. You have to adjust your strategy if there's tokens involved.
I'm with you there. And with that being said, Matt, what is your versus record?
I've actually got two answers because I have two accounts. So this is
Okay.
actually quite interesting to look at. So I haven't been playing the game since day one, but I inherited another account which has been playing since day one. And so on the account that I have been playing the whole time, it's got six wins and one loss. I picked Luigi in the Mario versus Luigi tour, and Luigi didn't win, unfortunately. And then on the other account, so I think that's quite a good track record there for the ones that I'm trying to pick who's going to win. And then on the other account, I've got 5 wins and 4 losses.
Okay. How about you, Avi? Anyone be able to beat 7 out of 9? That seems to be the winning number so far.
I'm actually 4-4. So maybe this tour would be the breaker. Yeah, I missed. I don't know. I don't really know if I was for the first versus tour because I did leave the game for 6 months at the beginning. So maybe I just didn't play it. I don't remember that well. But yeah, I got gold on the Peach one, and Bowser, then Peach, then I lost to Toad, Gold Luigi, Waluigi, and then everything else after that has been silvers because of what you were saying of the whole like last day situation. But usually, my deciding factor, honestly, it's not, I don't really care about winning or losing because the prices aren't all that significant to me. But I'm more about like the drivers that I know I would enjoy playing the most. And this is back before I was getting really competitive about this. And so maybe now that will play into it a little bit. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, again, we're going into another versus tour, and it's I think it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. Hopefully Kareem and Hero are able to get 8 out of 10. That's pretty cool. It's kind of nice that it's kind of interesting that we're getting it to 10 now, and we've had our ups and downs with versus tours in the past. But let's first talk about the the Princess Tour.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Just while we're on the topic, but who is everyone choosing for the versus tour coming up?
Mario, let's go.
I think I'm probably gonna go Mario too.
I think I'm gonna wait to see what tracks have what coin boxers.
Yeah.
And then choose the other team.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch your reaction, my friend. While you analyze the tracks.
And I'm
then
just gonna have Frenzy
I'll-
Fangirl open up her app. We're gonna go through everything, and then I'm gonna open up mine and then make the decision.
I'll be the
Yeah.
sacrificial lamb.
Well,
I just
I'll be,
volunteered you.
Done.
well, I can tell you this, like the tracks that they were confirmed in the trailer and and from the data mining stuff, it's leaning towards Team Mario because they have all the Mario circuits are coming back. So that's, you've got the Hakamas, the tuxedos, and PGP and Peach Vacation. So they're leaning towards Team Mario as of right now. Just a heads up.
In terms of the win, or in terms of the best team to choose to reduce tokens?
In terms of like getting the tokens fast, it's leaning towards Team Mario.
Okay.
I wouldn't
cool.
care about getting the tokens fast.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
That's so
Get
easy.
out of here.
That's the best thing about tokens about this is, one, you can get your tokens done in like a couple of days.
That's what I'm saying.
And you get an extra set of high-end tickets usually in the token shop. But no, we're talking but with the tokens staying there. Generally, we'd rather be on the other team. So
Yeah.
If it's leaning towards them, then I'm probably going to go on with Luigi then. And I think all the Miis are on Mario's team, aren't they?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gold and the block me are on
Yeah.
Team Mario.
It's looking like a potential win for Mario, just purely based on that strategy, right? Because you pick, yeah. But I'm the same as you, Kanye. I'll pick Team Luigi so that I could use the drivers from Mario and get those Rev coins, especially because of the Miis as well.
That's true.
I'm considering top 100 for next tour. So a big part of it will be, is Luigi coin box, and does he have to be leveled up for a top 100 run? And so there's a lot of ifs, if this, then that. So
you've got quite a stash of tickets, don't you, normally? So like, if you were going to go for it, would you take him a quad?
Yeah, if that's necessary. It just depends on the courses, really. So we're probably gonna
like Francie fans boys having a moment. Can we?
Yeah, he's calling time. We're probably doing spoilers, so we should.
So I mean, it's in the news that Gold Luigi is going to be a second week ranked reward. So you get to play him for a whole total of 1 hour.
That's right.
The entire rank.
For an hour, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about week one? Is it definitely week 2?
It's week 2.
Is that actually confirmed already, or is
it's
it
confirmed?
It's in the news.
It's in the news.
Oh wow, right.
That's such.
So update. I won't be going to top 100 next tour.
There you go. That's why I was like, decision off of that.
Oh dear.
Well,
So
that was
it's
next time.
ridiculous. Okay, I'll rant about that later, rather.
I was gonna say you might need your own therapist for that one. Let's get to the Princess Tour. Obviously, this tour, there's a lot of Princess items. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. For one, you get some supers that we're getting to use in ranked, which is I think is kind of refreshing. We also have 2 Cupid's arrows, so I thought we'd start there. They both look pretty sweet. We got a gold and a silver. Will the commemorative silver Cupid's arrow be the better than the gold, or will the original one be the only great one as it comes out, or it came out initially when that special pipe, which we kind of knew tend to get some more items? What do you guys think about the Cupid's arrow? Is it worth something investing in, or now that we've seen we have some bigger cards coming next tour, you're going to hold off?
I actually prepared some data analysis for that, but I'd love to hear everyone else's takes as well.
Well, I'm the type of person who makes decisions without data, so I'll tell you what I did first.
Exactly.
I think it's one of the coolest looking carts in the game. I was also sitting on like 86 cart tickets.
86.
Whoa.
I don't know how I got so many cart tickets. I had a lot.
That was more.
I just maxed it out. I was just like 8 quad right from the get-go.
Whoa.
Helps me twice in the ranked. It overlaps with my other 8 quad.
Where are you in my rank?
The
Where
blue
are you?
Molly cart.
Wow.
Dude,
So-
you had more high-end card tickets than me when I went for top 10.
I mean, I've heard of
That's
people
insane.
getting like
Wow.
that in drivers or gliders. You rarely hear about that number in carts.
I
I've
don't
never heard
know,
of
like,
anyone with that many.
That's
Yeah.
very-
I don't feel like I've been struggling with carts either, but I think carts and gliders are just the one thing that, like, unless I absolutely need it to like do better in ranked, I don't invest in them a lot just because I don't need to. but
I do think we did go through a rough patch where we didn't get a lot of cool cards, because I had collected a number, again, not that many, but you know, for me, I'm a spender, so I rarely have more than like 10 of something. So yeah, I had like 30 cart tickets. I blew them all on the Pink Comet because it gave me a good number of tracks. I love pink. It's got a nice hitbox, so I went in all in on that. I think if I had known that we'd have all these large hitbox, I might have saved it. But I mean, I still love the Pink Comet. I mean, it's a little plain, it's a little basic, but it's basic pink, and I love pink. So you know, for me, it's like that. I was pretty sold, and then once I found out it gave me 8 tracks, I was like, yes, let's go.
Same with me.
That's right. You went into the Pink Comet as well. That's right.
I went in the reds, but before I quad capped it, I'd heard rumblings that there was a Cupid's arrow coming. I was like, wait a second here. I'm not going to quad that. I'm going to hold out, and ended up taking the silver to 8 triple, because it gave me 3 tracks in ranked and something like 5 or 6 tracks straight away, which a bit like the red comet, like that's so rare for me. It was a no-brainer, and I loved the hitbox. Will it surpass or match its its original? I don't know. It'll be hard to do so, but I think the Cupid's arrow is one of those cards that's a bit of an unsung hero. Like it's never gotten the the acclamation of an off-roader or of a crawly car. Whereas I think it probably deserves that in some respects. It's maybe been a bit more of an ACR champ as opposed to a ranked champ. Perhaps that's why, but as a ACR player myself, I don't really distinguish between the two, because rank is usually taken care of. Other people might be able to say more about that. But if it follows in its footsteps remotely, it will be doing a very good job, and it is absolutely gorgeous. If the gold was good, I would have taken that up too, but it just ain't for me anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for my account, it already gives me a lot. I'm recently into Cupid's arrow because of Karim's advice. I've had the original Cupid's arrow was like just sitting on my account at 3, just like not even base points had completed for a while, and then it's only 5 double. It's not even like high, and it already was a huge improvement for my account. And I took silver to 6 double as well this tour, and 0 regrets. It does have one track that overlaps with Blazing Eagle, and that was it for me in terms of overlap. But really, I love the design. I love the way it looks with silver me. It's just perfect combination. But yeah, I'm excited about the new cards coming up, and the moment that they the data mining came out, I was just like, oh man, I'm going to be so poor next tour. It's going to be awful. But I might not be investing on them right away. I just want to get them and have the possibility of investing in them in the future. Knowing me, I'll probably take this, depending on how good they are. I'll probably be looking into investing in the shields faster than the armor riders, because I really love the way that those cards function with the iPad and everything else. But I'm also excited about gold Luigi. I think even when I've said in the past, including here in this podcast, that I'm all into the meme meta, there's something about the design of Luigi Knight that is just, it's so good. And it's also, those are always going to be great investments. So yeah.
Yeah, let's because I'm sure that'll open up a whole new conversation about Miis versus non-Miis, which is always a hot topic. But let's keep it. Let's go back to carts because I do want to flesh that out before we move on. Do you think, because let's say we have over this tour and next tour, because we'll have two new alts that are very large carts that are shielded speedster, and then two new alts that are large size hitbox with the warrior wagon, and then we have two large hitboxes with the Cupid's arrow. So, and then even a couple of these comets from last tour. I mean, we could be coming out with something like 8 large hitbox carts that are all getting kind of the same or similar tracks. Now, they did kind of hedge that a little bit by coming out with a total of 12 new variants between the 3 new tracks and 4 variants each. But do you think it's going to be tough with so many large hitbox all kind of having similar coverage?
Yeah, I think this really, for me, puts the Cupid's arrows that have come out this tour in a really strong position, right? Because they've been able to clean up this tour with some great coverage starting. And then they've also got this opportunity to get the right buffs in a brand new tour. So this is, when you see new carts come out and then a city tour comes afterwards, so you're kind of like, icky, yuck, because, now they might get that. But they're like right in the prime where they should get some great buffs in theory, right? Thematically, we're not going from like a princess to like Bowser, and what can happen there is because of the theme they don't buff the same items. So I feel like there's an opportunity here for those ones to do really well next tour, which may not bode well for those new carts next tour, but equally those ones could have a great starting value, and at the end of the day it's going to be a gamble. What I would say is I just checked the ticket time rankings to kind of compare the two carts and to just give a little bit of like information behind that. In the general rankings, it's just an indicator, obviously not account specific. Silver Cupid's arrow starts at number 84 and the gold Cupid's arrow starts at 107, which doesn't sound that impressive, but looking at a couple of inventories, both of my accounts, the silver Cupid's arrow debuts at number 14 on both accounts, and the gold Cupid's arrow is only 144 on one account, which is my main account, and then number 36 on my free-to-play. So I think the gold Cupid's arrow probably a little bit better for free-to-play users, and I know Flo started investing in that item. Silver Cupid's arrow better maybe for more established accounts with the specific coverage it got. And 14, I know a lot of people invested in that silver Cupid's arrow. I think you're going to be really super happy with that item. We'll have to see what courses these new carts get next tour, and we'll know a lot more. But I would caution people to be, a little bit cautious on investing too early, because like you say, so many carts, there's going to be overlaps, and we'll look back at this period of time and go, these were the winners. These were the ones that were great. They had the buffing favor. Everything else is kind of a bit of a mush. So for me, I'm playing it safe, and I actually haven't invested in any of these carts yet.
I was sorry. I was just going to add one other point, is that next tour we're going to have Cookie Land back, and the cart that I've got there is the combo cruiser at 8 double, which great from. But I've not found sufficient reason to triple or even think about quad capping that cart. And there's and what is there else? There's a
well, you got the Cact B, and then you do have the pink comet for Hero and I.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys have got that. But either if if the Silver Cube's arrow got Cookie Land, or one of these new carts gets, that could be quite a major incentive for me. I know that I don't want to bring it up too much, but the whole sort of shrooming element sort of thing going on is inflating scores in ACR. So if you're an ACR player and you do that, then you want to have a bigger cart, and that works anyway, just in general. But that's been the track where I can't get a cart. It's obvious, you've got the on battle track, you've got the Red Off-Roader, you've got the original Mark II and stuff like that. On Twilight, you've got Crawley and one of the Kings and Tanuki cart and all that. It's not so easy well, apart from Pink Comet, of course. I've been struggling on that track. I don't know what to do with it, and I'm really hoping that this tool provides an answer to Cookie Land, or who knows?
For the record,
maybe they'll
struggling is 8 double.
Yeah,
if
I
you've
was just
got
gonna
an
say,
account
struggling
like-
in the world of Karim is an
I'm
8
Sammy well problem. I like, yes.
It's a different level of the game, right? So it just needs to be said.
It is. But like, I feel the same, like, even though the hurdles may be different, I get the same excitement and agitation and excitement about dealing with them and stuff. So, it's, yeah, I know, well problem, but
Well,
I
problems
like
are
my
still
well
problems.
Because I got an 8 double uncapped combo cruiser that I just don't want to. I'm joking with you. I'm joking with you.
you know what, I could say some others. I'm not going to say it right now, but I've got 2 carts on there that are 8 double, by the way. So, but yeah, anyway.
He's just gonna leave, pick
Yes.
up his
I'm gonna
toys
take my
and
ball and go
go.
home.
Yeah. You beat me to it.
I'm joking.
Guys
with
are
you.
just
I'm
too
joking. I love you, man.
jealous, mate.
We
Too
all
jealous.
love him.
I'm very jealous. In all the healthy and unhealthy ways. Awesome, man. Well, good. No, I think it's interesting to see so many cards, and honestly, this is what we wanted. I just wish they would have spaced them out a little bit more, because it's been a little rough. Going through say Frenzy Fan Guys Bowser Tour and getting the little tiny little carts, and I don't know. It just would have been nice to have these. Like, why not bring the Warrior Wagon during the Bowser Tour or something like that?
Yeah.
And I don't know. That would have been cool. That would have been better. Just every tour we kind of like. It would be cool to see them start to kind of not dilute the importance of the hitbox, but like, when we see these streetles even on the top 10 and stuff, it's just like I even feel bad, hyping it up a little bit, like in the top 10, because its coverage is so great, but just I don't see any of us investing in it. Shout out to
You say that now, but I love the Rainbow Street Roll.
Okay.
I think it's
how do you feel
how
small
small they are. I don't think they're particular. I mean, I know they're small. It's not a lie. However, there's something about the way, at least for iPad users, that cart behaves, that in the back of the cart, it picks up a lot more than you actually think it does.
Okay.
Like, that's my cart for Beach Gardens Tea, I think it is, or something. And right now this tour, because I'm actually playing with Baby Mary, which is a whole lot of fun.
Nice.
But I've had it with PGP, and it had a great performance in picking up coins. So like, yeah, okay, technically it does have a small hitbox, but it kind of behaves like the hot pod, and like, like the chunky but short kind of carts. It's deceivingly good. It's not
Okay.
it's not.
Let's talk about it more. Let's talk about hitbox.
It's got a big ass, apparently. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I think
wide.
it's lower to the ground too. So if you toss a big driver in it, like, it performs better than like the coconut ones, where it's just like this small little tall thing that if you put a big driver in, it just doesn't pick up anything still.
Thank you for saying that, Frenzy Fangirl, because I remember when I started getting into the using, I think, Bowser Santa for the first time. This is before Meowser came out, and I'd put him in the Koopa King, and I know, Frenzy Fanboy, that you're a huge fan of that loadout. But what I discovered is I was like, the coins are coming out really high up, and I think there's a lot about hitbox we don't actually still understand. We need to just notice like that just because we've been talking about this stuff for years at this point doesn't mean we actually know how all the mechanics in the game work. And width is something we don't talk about enough. Height is something we never talk about, and actually, like, the size of the driver can also impact the trajectory of the coins coming out of the coin box, and things like height as well. So I think there's a lot we still don't understand, which does impact on, like you're saying, Avi, the performance of a cart. Sometimes I like using a small driver, and I think I was using Larry with Tropical Truck, so it's kind of that small, medium sort of size. And man, like, The steering was great. Like I had a lot more control. I was like, oh, this is, and when I first used Crawley Kart, I was like, this is terrible. I have no control over this thing. So I think, that was early in the game before I learned how to control large karts. So I think there is a lot more to the game than we might realize.
I think these are all great points. I think just so like a good example, and I hope he doesn't mind this, but Sam78IT reached out to me and said, hey, I want to, because he's doing some stuff with All Cup ranking and trying to help predictions in his toolbox. And I think this is, it's a great idea. And I've actually started to use it myself while the Anselov algorithm tracker's been down. But he asked me, he's like, so hitbox, like how much does it impact your score when you're going for top 100? He's like, maybe, like, does it impact your score like 10%? I was like, 10%. I was like, it might impact maybe 1% of my score is like impacted from the hitbox. I don't know what do you guys think? And so for me, I'm like, I might get like 1 or 2 extra coins from a hitbox unless I'm using it. If I'm using a coin, thing is like, it all depends if you're using a Coinbox driver or not, of course. But like, I'm not using as many Coinbox drivers anymore when I'm thinking about, before it used to be like Coinbox, Mario Coinbox Kart or whatever you want to call the actual game itself. But like, no, it's not the case anymore. I think that because of the Miis, because of their dominance, like I'm finding myself using a lot of Giant Banana, a lot of Boomerang, a lot of even some squirrely skills I wasn't expecting, some triple bananas in there or something that I never would have used the first couple of years of the game. So I don't know, there's something about it. It's like, maybe like I might be only using Coinbox on like basically gold Miis courses and maybe a couple question mark block and maybe a PD gold or something. Like again, it's not as much as it used to be. Does that impact your thoughts on the hitbox? And I think Matt, you bring up a lot of great points. It's like we don't know everything about the game. I still feel like I for me, I keep coming back to the minimum viable hitbox, and that's what Sam ended up kind of bringing in. It's a minor tweak. I think it was less than he was expecting, but I think when I'm going up a ramp, I'm trying to think, can I get these 2 coins? Can I get 2 coins instead of 1? And I feel like I know that if I'm using a Streetle, I just can't, I'm only going to get 1 coin. Like if you're going in between them, there's oftentimes where like Tropical Truck is my minimum viable hitbox, where anything lower than that, I just have a hard time getting those 2 coins off of the ramp. Or if I'm like, there's sections a good example right now, this tour, Coconut Mall. There's a lot of times where there's jumps where I don't have to even go at a hard angle, but I just go in between the 2 coins and I get them both. And that's the kind of hitbox that I want. I know from trial and error that that the larger the hitbox, the more I'm going to get those coins. But now I'm trying to see like, maybe can I get 3? Like how can I use these angles to try to maximize the turns? And for me, I was just like, I think the first year or 2 is just like finishing first and just like, get as many friends as possible. Like, whereas now it's a little more tactical. Now I'm trying to like, we're literally fighting and talking about getting 2 coins versus 1. But I don't know, does that resonate with anyone when it comes to lack of Coinbox usage combined with the hitbox, and then trying to get a couple coins off? Does that like impact your thought process on the hitbox?
Well, for me personally, so I always, whenever I've gone for ACR, I've never had like below 50% Coinbox sort of rate. Out of the 45 tracks, I mean, how many do you think I'm using Coinbox on? What would you guess?
Let's say 25.
12.
Well, wow.
Yeah. Basically, so, but I think the size, hitbox, so if you're lucky 7, you want to get the golden showers, hitbox matters there. The hitbox, the only negative I could attribute towards hitbox is on tracks like, where you've got those walls, whether it's like, and it straightens you out, phantom straighteners, that can be very annoying. There, it's nice to have a smaller hitbox. But just in general, in terms of the things you can pick up, the things you can bash or hit, I think even away from using a Coinbox, but I think on a Coinbox run, I think 180 turns to 200 from a medium cart to a very large cart. I think that's worth 20 coins worth. Now that's obviously a bit of a general statement. Like you can get 200 and get one with the small one, and because coin boxes can vary. We all know that. But all other things being equal, it's a major component for me personally, and it's never served me badly. They generally tend to have pretty good coverage anyhow. They seem to get a lot of favorability. So I will definitely be looking at these new ones, and I hope that the Shielded Speedster one does nicely, because I think it handles very nicely. The Armored Rider it's very blocky, you know. Sammy talks about that rotational sort of axis, you know, the feeling of the way the car performs. I would definitely agree with that. So I would like that, because it feels smooth. It feels like a pretty cool car. So yeah, when it comes to car, it's make or break. If it's too small, it could have 50 tracks. Going to invest in it. It's as simple as far as I'm concerned. So I know for others that's not. If you're looking at coverage, you've got to be a bit more selective and stuff. But for me, yeah, who knows? Brown off-roader.
I was gonna say, I know I toot this horn a lot too, but I feel like there's tons of different variables too when it comes to playing the game. And one of the things with hitbox, like it gives you your time back. Like for me, anytime I have a high hitbox, if I'm not an ACR player, right? So like just for ranked or just getting my like high scores, you can get in and out a lot quicker with the hitbox just because your level of accuracy is so much bigger. And this doesn't really talk about the hitbox of the cart as much as the hitbox of the driver. But like last week, for example, it was on, what was the one where Peach Happy was the spotlight or the character? So Peach Circuit T, I was starting off trying to do a boombox with Astrode, and I just could, like, you know, where it has the 2 coins on the ramps? For the life of me, like I was having the hardest time getting, because they were back to back, so getting the right angle to get both of them. He's so small that you could only pick up one, but the minute I switched to Peach Happy, like you just pick them up like this, and I was in and out way quicker. So point being,
what was your cart on that one, Frenzy Finger?
My cart on that one was the Silver Cupid Arrow at 8-4.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay.
Which is a huge hitbox,
yeah.
but even with Astrode, like I was having a hard time hitting the 2 coins.
Good thing you didn't boombox, because I can't with boombox anymore.
Oh no, I put like 4 hours into trying to boombox that course, and then as I said, because I had Astrode at level 6 and Peach Happy at level 4. And after like all the time, I was like, screw, I'm just taking Peach Happy up to level 6. And I got the score like within 2 runs, like way better than I had spent 4 hours trying to get with Astrode.
Absolutely.
I had the luck of getting, can you hear me? Yeah. I had the luck of getting boombox right away. Which was like, it's rare. It's not. But I had boombox, lightning, coin. It was like perfect. And it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this track. I don't want to see it again. But yeah.
GG's.
Sorry, which one was this? This was
Peach Circuit T.
You did it with Morton.
Oh yeah. No, I started off with Boomerang, and then I was like, wait a second. Nah,
yeah.
I'm just gonna go Giant Banana. So yeah, like I honestly right now I'm in maybe it's obvious to you and to everyone else, I'm in like a really frazzled state because I've had so much boomeranging to do that I think like I'm done with it. I'm never investing in a boomerang driver again because it's fine for one track, but I honestly think Nintendo's done something that we get so many tracks with no middle shelf. You spend ages just trying to get a lobby. Like when you have to do 45 tracks and 25 of them are with boomerang, and you've got to get yourself a lobby to get a double boombox. The expectation of what you're doing is just so crazy that I'm like, I am so done with it. I've never felt more boomerang.
You're not, but like now, if you took the bar that was double boomboxing and moved it to a double boombox coin, would that help?
Oh,
or is that not
massively. So of course I will do that, but if you want to go for top 10, you can't do that, unfortunately.
Wow.
You can't So I on Snowland, what is it in rank now? See, yeah. Yeah, get a boombox and a coin, get like 174 actions or whatever it is. And I'm 11K down on my sheet. So I think that's a lot on me because I'm putting the pressure on myself. Like the scores, like Coinbox, we always kind of knew that the goal was kind of like double coin box with one or two singles or whatever. Then this lucky 7 thing happened where it used to be, lucky 7 coin or lucky 7 coin or something. Now it has to be lucky 7 with the single, then lucky 7 with the single and then a coin. And if you don't get that, you get, 90% of the actions or whatever. And when you're going for these like top 10 things, this is the sort of scores that people are putting up, and it puts like undue stress on you to do that. And that
well, I think if there weren't people like Auto Drift and Danny actually getting these every single freaking tour, man, like it's not like these are just like pipe dreams that like no one's actually getting them, but like there are some people out there that are literally getting them, and like
I'm competing with them. Honestly, it's their fault. It's their fault. They're the ones who have driven me to the edge.
Being so good. Yeah.
It's the confessions of a top tenor.
Danny says, "Oh yeah, I did the whole tour in 50 hours. What was it, like 40? Only 7 tracks are not like S ranked or whatever. Or was that Harry? I can't remember. But they were like, I'm like, you got 38 S, ranked tracks in like 50 hours. I mean."
Do they have a cheat code?
That honestly just
the worst.
I don't understand. I do not understand how that's possible.
It's actually almost like skill inflation. Like people have gotten so good at the game that it puts more pressure on others to compete. So it's not something we talk about all that often, but you can see that it's at that level that we're getting minimal return on investment now for our time or our skill level, which
absolutely. The difference, I'd consider myself to be, a decent player, similar level to someone like Studfit, like a good player. But then there are these other people, these other players, Danny, who are I don't quite get it. It's not just one that they pull out one track. It's the number of them that they do. I don't know how they do it. They just take it to an absolute level that I personally can't compete with, except by having much stronger loadouts. And I think I've just got to come to terms with that, and I sort of have, and it's cool. And I've tried to improve as best I can, but now I'm like, all right, just leave them be and let them be the champions that they are, because I can't match them. They're too good. And God forbid if they remove that 200 action count, bonus point.
Oh my gosh!
Can you imagine? Oh my
gosh!
The worst part for boomboxing, Kareem, is imagine you have the run, or you have your Coinbox lobby. You have 3 Coinbox drivers in your lobby, all badge bots except the other drivers are all badgeless, and your game crashed. That's what happened last tour.
Oh. Yikes. That's happened to me a couple times, but no, I mean, not that bad, man. That sounds pretty brutal.
Yeah. I wanted to throw my phone out the window when that happened.
I've been getting the error for, I don't know if you're using iPhone too, but I've been getting the error code more recently.
Me too.
I've been getting error code, but I've noticed when you're on a track for like X amount of hours, there comes a point where your game crashes. Yeah. And personally, I don't know what's going on with that. I really think that
people have mentioned that. Like Draco is like, when he's on his runs, he's like, I know it's going to crash. I'm going to get this soon. I've never personally had that. I don't know why. But maybe it's
it happened to me two times when I've been just doing living my day, and I go from like one cell tower to another cell tower. Like for instance, I was dropping off my sons at my mom's house, their grandmother's house, and I think I had like Kamek and like King Bob-omb in Peach Gardens R, and I was basically off and on working it for like 4 hours, just like hey, I got a break here, I'm going to try it. And then it didn't work, then and then I had like, 20 minutes here and tried it again. I just would swipe up and just hope that it was there when I swiped down. It was working really great. And then had to drop off again. I was like partly at the gym and then partly like getting breakfast and stuff. And then went to drop them off and then swiped like literally just seconds after swiping up, swiped it down, error code. And I was like, oh gosh. And for me, it was going from, one area in my car to another. So that was me, but that's anecdotal. So I don't know if that helps figure things out. But for me, that's what caused it twice for me.
On a, I wanted to ask anyone a question.
Oh, by the way, opening up your camera on your iPhone shuts it down every time.
That doesn't happen for me.
For me, it happens every time. If you open up, if I open up my camera on my phone, every single time the game just starts over, just restarts. So it might be a setting I have.
Yeah. The issue that I've sort of had, especially when I'm playing a lot, is for instance, especially if you're boomboxing or something like that, is you can start swiping, sort of half swiping in and out of the app. Have you guys ever had that where you're sort of tapping at the screen or whatever and it will sort of swipe out?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you can go in as a part of like, where you've got with the voice control and stuff like that, you've got this thing guided access. So it will lock onto that screen. So you can't swipe out of it unless you click 3 times. So that's actually quite useful in tracks where you can get quite sort of intense. It will stop you from swiping out of that.
But now when you say clicking 3 times, it sounds like when I'm on frenzy mode, I'm clicking 3
Oh,
definitely.
no, sorry. I meant the side button, the way you get out of it is by clicking this 3 times.
Okay.
And then you can swipe out. But otherwise, I think it's done deliberately. So for kids, you can give them a game, but they can't get out of that game or whatever.
But I have to swipe up, man. I have to do it. I have to be able to do that because that's how I play. You know me. I'm a toilet grinder, man. Yeah.
You can still do that. You just click 3 times and then swipe up. But I'm saying that, like, if you're sitting there pressing and going at it, like, am I the only one who's had that where I'm like in the middle of a coin box frenzy and suddenly I've swiped out of the app? I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I think this is an iPhone issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, frenzy fans guys, like, what's going on?
I cannot commiserate with this. iPhone doesn't have this problem.
For sake of the Android and Google phone people, we'll move on the topic. But I do think it isn't something we don't talk very often about, which is just like, how do you play the game when it comes to, pausing it and going into life and then coming back into the game? It is one of the parts that's unique about Mario Kart Tour. And honestly, I think if it didn't have that feature, I probably would not play this game as long as I have, because just of the status of my life and like just how busy things are. And like when I play, it's literally for minutes at a time and not for, and that's, I think also why we kind of call talk about like pool grind, like this nonchalant, just like kind of playing the game just for fun. I think there's a lot of times where for me, all cup ranking is that, the top 100 that I get. So I don't know. It's an important part of the game and I'm glad we talked about it. And we might have talked about it a little long, but it's okay. So we've talked about the hitbox. One thing I wanted to bring up just about that we're kind of at right now, it kind of ties into some of this meta talk, is that how do you guys feel about some of the drivers that have come out here recently that have a plus skill but aren't to me? And so when I know this will spark some me conversation, but what do you feel about like Poochie and Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer and Toad Taurus? Are you still buying him in the daily spotlight shop? And we've kind of talked about some of the shelf life of these drivers. They're starting to, at least in our server, we're kind of talking about them getting a little shorter with more Miis coming out. And I know, Kareem, this past week, you were convincing me to try to invest in the Nabbit Mii suit and the Bronze Mii suit. And like to think about any other driver in the game that came out a year ago, someone convincing me to try to invest in it, just that would never happen, in today's non-Mii world. But for me, it's like their shelf life is just much longer. So curious, I mean, how are you guys approaching Poochie and Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer and Toad Taurus and some of those? And that'll lead us into our conversation about our Gold Luigi that's coming up.
Yeah, it's really tough. I've got all of those drivers. I love Giant Banana. I love lucky 7. I've got light blue Shy Guy at level 6 and double capped, which I did almost immediately because he had a couple good tracks. But you know, wouldn't mind having those tickets back. Wouldn't mind having the tickets back from Larry Wintertime. I probably will not ever give Poochie or Toad Tourist the ticket. And then, yeah, just to soapbox for a small moment about Gold Luigi. I know we'll talk about him more, but it really kills me. I've been waiting for a coin box Luigi this entire time. And, you know, a year and a half ago, it was like the dream. And actually, to be really a bit dark for a second, feels like the dream's dead. You know, like Frenzy Fanboy, you mentioned like a SNES Bowser. You know, imagine that we get an SNES Bowser with a small hitbox with coin box. Like I think it probably would be medium, same as the other two SNES drivers. But even that, like, it's like, is that the dream or is the dream dead? Because you get that and it's like, yes, if you really love that character, you invest in it, and who cares about, you know, stuff the meta, like just do it. But at the same time, it's just not efficient. And so for like, I'm a meta player. Like a turtle dude accused me this week on Discord jokingly that I was a fake Luigi fan because I was saying, well, if he gets good coverage and it doesn't overlap with me's and this, then I'll invest. He's like, oh, you're a fake Luigi fan. And I'm like, hey, I've always maintained that I'm meta first. Yes, I love Luigi. I actually love Yoshi too. Like but Yoshi, okay. Man, he was Yoshi Gold Egg. No offense, Frenzy Fangirl, but he was dead on arrival because Gold Me completely overlapped with him. Daisy Tidris ended up overlapping with him. So he's one of the worst coin boxes I think that we've had in the last couple of years because of those overlaps. So sorry, that's a hot take. I'm sorry.
Frenzy fans, bro, just cover your ears. You should have
and that's my fear, because Yoshi Gold Egg, like if you said to me like what should be the best driver in the game, like I would say, well, something like Yoshi Gold Egg. It's Yoshi, it's gold, it's coin box, it's awesome. Like, and in Gold Luigi, same thing. But I'm so scared that he's going to be dead on arrival, and even worse, that he's going to be basically completely unusable for ACR. It's just, it really kills me. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, the original characters are kind of already dead.
So, unpopular opinion.
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
Let's go
with the hot takes. Let's go.
I actually like to play the game to try and actually squeeze some type of enjoyment out of it a little bit these days. I'm sorry, but battle mode and this me takeover just isn't doing it for me. And I don't have to play the game to get top 100 or top 10 every single time. I've got Poochie at 6'2". I've got Photoed at 7'3", and I still use them in ranked. They help me get the position in ranked that I want. I'm fine with my ACR, the amount of time that I have to be able to put into ACR every tour. I'm able to meet my goals and expectations in the game. Just with the Mii's, like I've got a couple that are more than like level 2. And when they end up popping up, it's kind of like frosting on the cake. It's like, oh, cool, like gold Mii's here, or oh, like yellow Mii suits here. Like I get to use it like 1 or 2 more times after having like put some tickets into it, which is fine. But I don't know, like I think so this is something that Matt and I kind of talk a little bit about on Discord with the most valuable inventory items. So it's the surveys that we put out every week where people in the community vote for the items that they're actually using in ranked, to just try and get like a pulse on what items are actually being used and like leveled up and stuff. And I think maybe 2 or 3 tours ago, I started going outside of the top 10 and would show the items that are actually used the most quantity-wise over the past 10 tours. And so from the Space Tour to the Mii Tour, it's interesting how Cat Luigi, Dr. Luigi, Kitsune Luigi, all of these guys, they're as far as like the points that they get for the people in the community that are voting for them, they are like 40th place and lower points wise. But they're being used like 11, 13, and 15% of the time and ranked over the past 10 tours. So here's the thing is, and especially I've noticed if you watch like our tour preview, like reaction tour videos.
Yeah.
So many times where it's that third course and ranked for one of the 2 weeks where it's just impossible, like to roster that top shelf. But guess who's always there?
Kitsuna.
It's Kitsune, it's Doctor or Cat Luigi. And Nintendo's doing it on purpose because I'm sorry to all the Luigi fanboys out there, but it's not a popular character. People aren't buying them and people aren't investing in them. That's why those characters keep on coming up on top shelf, because Nintendo can't be accused for not putting non-me suit players in the top shelf, but know that it's still making it hard for people to compete unless you've invested in these items that
unless you invest in sucky people, sucky characters. Yeah.
I think I wouldn't put it as a slight on Luigi. It's the fact that none of them have a plus skill. Like Luigi Knight, you'll notice, he's not up there on those. I mean, I remember watching your tour reaction, the fury in your eyes, like when you were going through and just seeing there's Luigi again, and it was just Luigi after Luigi after Luigi, and I was completely with you on that. And but it's just because if they had Lucky 7 or if they had something, then fine. But at best, you're getting triple banana. But unexpected opinion. Then I'm coming to the same conclusion as Frenzy Fans Guy here, because obviously I'm coming from my point of view, from my account. I could try and sit and boombox something, or maybe get a great run with the Lucky 7 or something like that, or whatever. But at least I know what I'm getting with Coinbox. You do get some tough Coinbox tracks. I've got Gold Chuck. I've taken 2 non-plus skilled, 2 plus skilled high ends that are not me's to 8 quad capped, and they've been wonderful for me. Space Toad and Gold Chuck. And I'm thinking, going forward, at so many races, I sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm using Larry at 2,200 base points. I've got Daisy Tie there at 1430. You know what? I'd really like to use tie-dye.
Yes.
And
yes.
so I'm like, but for me, I basically need to take them to 8 quad. I understand that's a whale situation, but that's my equivalent. And I'm going to start doing that now because I'm not actively enjoying play. You can probably tell I'm so frazzled out by this last 10 days because I wanted to get it done early and not leave it till the end. And I've just not enjoyed myself. I totally have not enjoyed all this bloody, so much boomeranging that I'm like, what am I even doing? I want to go. The first 3 days were amazing. I went and did all my Coinbox tracks, beat the estimate on 12 or 11 out of 13 of them. I felt on top of the world. I was loving it. Coinbox is so much fun. And then from then on, it's just been downhill, 3 hours a track, 4 hours a track, 5 hours. And yeah, that's it. Frenzy Fans Guy, I'm joining your team, and if I don't follow through with that, you have permission to, well, I don't know, whatever you want. But yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
Anything you want.
I'll send over a generous donation.
This is going to last this gonna last the whole of him being done with the boomerang tracks, and then he's back on me rules forever.
These do rule. And it's great when I'm just doing ranked. I'm going for pit crew chief or something, fine. But 27 tracks.
Yeah.
A lot of tracks.
It's too much. It's too much.
So let me ask you this, because here's the thing. So because I know actually I think a lot of people want to bring in have a conversation, because this is a very hot topic. But I will say for Peach Gardens which was absolutely excruciating for boomboxing. I was using PD Me, and there were no coin boxes on the second row. And I know Wootmoo came on a couple episodes ago and mentioned how they actually liked a lot of the lowest tier 1 coin boxers because they would either get it or not right away, and he can move on. But here's the thing: is I actually plugged in because I was kind of burnt out a little bit too. I was just having a hard time. I probably spent 5 or 6 hours on that one track and never got my real good run. But I plugged in Daisy Tie Dress, and it was, like 6,000 less points even at so again, to me, it's like, that's why I was asking you that question earlier, Kareem, is like, could you accept a boombox coin? Because if you're getting a boombox coin with, like you said, like a level 8, triple uncapped or quad capped me suit, it's going to that type of run is going to outbeat a triple coin box frenzy from Daisy Tie Dress triple uncapped.
Yeah, absolutely. But this again comes to a segue.
This has to do with fun, right?
To the bots, like arranging the lobby that you get. If you have a bad lobby, you can be sat there for hours and hours and hours. If you have a good lobby, it feels like you're getting a boombox every third go. I don't like this. Everyone talks about cocaine bots and whatnot. It doesn't feel like that now. It feels like they've started blood doping and EPO and all this other stuff. Like, I don't like the fact that when I want to take it seriously, I have to sit there and grind them down for an hour before I can start doing the race. Like, you openly say, Studfit, how that, you'll just be sitting by the pool and you'll just quickly, I can't play the game for a quick 10 minutes meaningfully, so unless I change my outlook to the game, which is just to have a bit of fun with it, which is probably what I should be doing, but if I want to be competitive with it, I can't. You need that whole bot situation is something that I don't like personally, and that comes down to affecting Boomerang quite significantly.
But it's also the nature of those tracks in particular. The Peach Gardens are very wide tracks, especially that like courtyard section. It's very frustrating because, as I was saying earlier, I'm doing, say, I think it's T or RT with Baby Luigi, and I have PD for the normal version, and I had Sanami for the R version. And then there's the one with Jam Banana. And honestly, I never hit the targets. It was so frustrating to the point that I was like, you know what? I also have Meowser, and I also have Ty Daisy for R and RT. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated. And I actually lost ranked first place last week because I was so bent on trying to get it with Santami. And had I should just like done it with Ty Daisy, I would have been done. The difference literally was 3,000 points that I could have got. I never got my mark with Santami, and I would have probably gotten it with Ty Daisy and be first. So like, yeah, it depends. I think, to Karen's point, it is also the way that you invest in these skills that, I mean, it's the way you like strategize about the game. Right now, I do enjoy a good boombox, but I invest a lot heavier on coin boxers, giant bananas, and lucky sevens than I do with
I feel like visually it's hard to do on a podcast, but think of it as a triangle, right? There's time,
yeah
there's fun, and then there's points. And those are like really the three reasons we do anything. And if you can find like the perfect triangle that you have, it's fun, you maximize the points, and time, spending less time, then that's great. I think that we all have to give up something to get another, and a lot of times it's kind of like if you think in some of those graphs where you kind of have to be a little closer, you kind of find out yourself you're closer to one versus another. So for like boomboxing, I think it was fun for a while. And that's why whenever Kareem, you said you should invest in the bronze me, I said, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna pass on that one, bro.
I might be
I
slightly
have to.
changing my mind on that. Yeah. Maybe
But,
not.
I keep making less stuff because I'm okay. To your question earlier, whether we're investing still on non-me plus skill drivers. I still do the plus skills. I would never go too high into Kitsune, for example, even there. Sometimes I see it on my store. It's like, it keeps being on top shelf. Like maybe I should, but I've restrained myself from it. But the thing is that it depends on the tour. It depends how you police your account. It for me, I will still take, even though it's Boomerang, I will still take Astrotoad to 8 quad because it's a great driver. And it's a fun driver too. I will probably take Luigi high up there. I feel like the only one that I've taken all the restraint to do, and it's a plus skill, it's King Mario for obvious reasons. But I mean, even though it's still like I'm still leveling it up slow enough to the point that he's beginning to be relevant.
So for me, I think the frustrating thing about it, like especially with your analogies of it, is I love the triangle analogy, but at the same time, like points are fun, right? So like as someone who loves I love the original characters. I was so excited when Poochie came to the game. I got him, haven't had an excuse to put one ticket on him, right? And it's weeks like this where it's not frustrating, but like the reality of it is I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Snowland T, for example, right? Light Blue Shy Guy Explorer is one of the characters who I took to level 6 right away because Lucky 7's awesome and it's great. Had I done that with Santa Me, which I have does not spark joy for me at all. Like it's not a character I love, but same skill. On this one course, I'd get an extra 4,000 points just by having the me versus the original character. So it's hard when it's like, oh my goodness, like the fun part about the game is the competitive side and getting the points, but also the fun part of the game is enjoying those original characters. I think I'll always remain frustrated by it, but I'm frustrated that Nintendo has put us in a situation where we can't love the original characters like we want to. But take out Coin Box and take out Boomerang to your original question. I don't think that there's going to be an original character that comes to the game if it's not Boombox, if it's not Coin Box, that I'm able to invest in confidently. And that's frustrating to me because like Poochie, like I was so excited and he's just sitting there looking cute. And I think I've played him like 3 or 4 times.
It's almost been like the Miis have been a test of what does the community care more about? Do we care more about competitively winning and like you're talking about Frenzy Fangirl, or do we care about original characters? And yeah, it's a bit like you say, it's pretty nasty for people to have to choose between those two things because at the end of the day, we love both.
Well, and the frustrating part too is like, it's exactly what I said, but just in a different way. But if you love original characters and you choose the original characters, your life is harder and you're not going to compete as well. And therefore it's not as fun. And that's frustrating.
I completely agree. I'm coming out as someone who was like I don't want to say a pioneer, but certainly an early trendsetter when it comes to the Miis. I've had enough of them. Like I want to go and use Santa Bowser. I remember waiting a whole year to get Santa Bowser.
Oh, you guys.
Yes.
Like honestly. And so like if he's a coin boxer or whatever, I will probably take him to when I have the tickets, which I don't have right now, unless he's completely overlapped with Gold Me, which is probably quite likely to be honest with you. Because I have so much fun with Gold Chuck. He's been by far the most fun driver that I have gone through with. He's had great tracks. It's coin box, which is still, it is fun. And you feel like you're also doing damage at the same time. Like I'm getting scores, I'm having fun. He's a cool character, So, and I'm in the fortunate position where that I don't have to sacrifice ACR to be able to do that. I understand that that's not the case for other people. I totally get that. But other people may not be as competitive as I was or am, and are therefore willing to make that trade-off earlier on, and that's okay for them. It's just that people who tend to be on these sort of channels are usually reasonably competitive. And I've spent 3 years trying to optimally invest. It's going to be a little bit weird to suddenly not do that. And I might wake up tomorrow thinking something different than I am thinking right now.
I think
when your meds kick in, this is gonna be
the meds will help. The meds will help.
Yeah.
I haven't slept, guys. You have no idea. Oh my god.
This what I'm saying. This is Karim on non-nap.
I do think a lot of what you're talking about has to do with going for top 10. You're mentally just going through like some kind of probably right up there underneath waterboarding as to like mental torture that you're like putting yourself in. Like you're legitimately like going through putting yourself in the mental health crisis.
Yeah. Every time Kareem goes for a top 10, like he doesn't get sleep. I keep telling him, bro, go to sleep. It's like 4 a.m. over there. And
unless it's last tour, that it was literally the one last day. Oh, I'm just gonna go for a casual top 10.
Well, no, I did that in the last. I did that. You guys convinced me. You and Shadow they told me what kind of loser wouldn't go for it. It's so easy. Go do it.
I mean,
the last 24 hours.
You had the loadout. You were so close. Like, come on.
No, it's fine. But then that was more fun than this, where I was like, I'm going to plan this out. And I've got it already. Like I've got enough value, but I've just really hated the last 7 days of
I mean,
like I'm like the only reason I ended up I didn't want to do it is I built like a nice little spreadsheet and stuff for someone who was going to go for it all, and so it was all gonna tell them the amount of leeway that they could have on their tracks and which one that they should aim for and how much time they should spend on each one. And
by the way, when he says it's a nice little sheet, it's this monster sheet.
Yes.
That it's like you look at this thing and it's like, did we move on to NASA all of a sudden? Because this is what it's looking like.
No. It boils down to one sheet that just gives you one little number. Yes, there's about 19 sheets behind it, but you can't see them because they're hidden. But anyway, but the whole point was that then when they decided not to go for it, I was like, well, I've put so much into this. Like I've thought so much about how I would attack this. I was like, I'm going to do it. And I went ahead and did it. And I didn't enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it either. So you're not the only one.
I mean, but it's also the tour that you're picking. Like it depends on the tour. I've had tours where like,
it's true.
25 of my tracks were coin boxers. And I was like, well, I guess this is where I live now. But, you know, or Joshi tour, it was the same thing for you. Like you had so many.
It's like 30. I mean, back when it was 36, you know, you'd have 20, 22 coin boxes, whatever. Having 25, you know, boomerang or whatever. But, you know, it's great. In rank, that's why I love doing rank. It's I'm repeating myself, I'm aware, but it's great in ranked because it's the highest achievement in the game. Nothing really beats, you know, a double boombox if you like or whatever. It's the ultimate high, but it comes at a price, and over a 45 sort of thing, like it's just there's a reason why you're seeing the same top people up there. It's because they're the only ones who are crazy enough to continue putting themselves through this torture, or they're that good it doesn't actually take them much effort. It's either
says the person that is complaining that it's been a torturous week. But you know,
look, I'm sleep deprived. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Nice, man. Well, yeah. Kareem, I hope you can get some rest tonight, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You can use it. No, I mean honestly, like for me, I really love the Miis because I don't play I don't play this game as much as I used to, but I think I can just jump on a track and use a Mii and just get like a pretty average run, and it's like blowing people out of the water because of all the base points and stuff. For me, like that's actually like I get to because I'm able to get that balance. It's more fun for me. So again, it's kind of to me like that for that triangle. It's like the base points actually help inflate the fun. Going back to Frenzy Fan's point, it's like if you're getting points and you're winning, and like what's not to love about that, you know?
What are you winning though? What I mean is like, what do you are you talking about like ranked, or are you talking about like, for me it's seeing like how my friends are doing and things like that?
Oh yeah, there's a variety of fun, but I think just when it comes to me playing the game right now, my job is like really has me really busy, and so I've been kind of getting my login and getting some other stuff here, but I've still been getting top 100. Again, I've gotten something like 50 or so of top 100 badges, and that's kind of what my fun in the game. This tour, I'm starting to wonder if I'll even be able to attempt it, just because I don't have my trackers and stuff filled out. I mean, even the DKE are spread, like having to manually enter instead of copy and paste. Like that seems like a lot of like. I'm probably gonna spend more time doing that than playing the actual game this tour. But yeah, to me, like having the Mii is just like it's fun, and I get to I'm using top skills. It's actually most of the ones I've invested in have been lucky 7 because I went in on Santa and Silver and another one too. So I mean, like for me, like that's a lot of fun. I really enjoy using lucky 7. I wish I could use it more. I hope they come out with more. But again, that Nabbit argument's starting to sound.
Have you noticed though? Because I kind of feel like we've been having this conversation behind the scenes where I feel like lucky 7 drivers used to be a lot more effective, but since they changed the way that red shells behave, now you're not hitting the targets as quick.
I see that as a positive though, because sometimes when you have the red shells knocking everyone out, then you're moving to the front, which is good for positioning, but it's also good to stay back and get a couple extra lucky 7s, maybe a single in there. I don't know, it's kind of a wild ride when you're able to stay back there. And I think one of kind of going back to the original question, I would love to go in with Poochie, but like I think if Poochie were to come out next tour, or someone that that has lucky 7, I don't know if I would buy it. I've been buying like these plus skill non-Miis just like at 105 rubies, but like if maybe a coin box one I'll buy, but like I'm wondering if I actually need to buy those anymore. I don't think I do.
What in terms of what new one? Sorry.
Yeah, like if I know we've kind of talked about Luigi Knight Gold, good chances of him being coin box, but let's say he's lucky 7. Do you have to buy him? I might not. I might actually save the 105 rubies and decide that like I want to do something else with it, or save it, or not not buy rubies or something. To me like I'm seeing those. I think it's because of the old mindset of the game of like, oh, plus skill, gotta get it.
Yeah,
I don't need a must gets anymore.
Yeah. Well, good news. He's a ranked reward, so you'll get him no matter what.
Yeah,
true.
So you don't have to spend rubies on him.
I think it's important to say, like, for the viewers watching as well, like, yes, the Miis are extremely strong, but if you get, let's say Poochie had come out and he'd been buffed, like, I don't know, gold charging Chuck. If they had those kind of buffs, he'd got the exclusive courses, like, and of course you can't really compare the two because one's coin box, one's lucky 7. Lucky 7 isn't nearly as strong for scoring, and then also one came out on a special pipe when special pipes existed with no guarantee that you would get him, so it's even more rare. And then Poochie was just 105 ruby purchase, so it's not that original characters are completely dead, but it's just that it's not helping when there's so many overlaps. Like, to Frenzy Fanboy, you talked before about like Tourist, very strong appearing in ranked, but yet no one's using him, no one's voting for him because they're not leveling him up because they've already got other options.
Tourist is actually the most used driver in ranked, right behind Gold Misu over the past 10 tours.
Oh, great. Sorry, I
So
misunderstood that.
Luigi, way down.
Wow.
Toad, like astronaut and Toad tourist, they're actually up there. People are buying them. People are using
Toad,
them.
yeah.
He
Oh.
So
appears
Toad's
in
still
ranks.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
but maybe Poochie might be a better example of this.
Okay.
Not many people are probably actually investing in Poochie because they've got other options.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Toad Astronaut kind of got that treatment that you're talking about, where he's
Yeah.
getting great treatment. Like he's just
Yeah.
getting all the right
Exactly.
tracks.
Yeah, I've been
That's
lucky
right.
too that I've gone for Toad Astronaut and Toad and Chuck Gold when I was going between Chuck Gold and Gold PT. I went with Chuck Gold. They've done, they've been great. But I just had a quick little look at my heat map now. 7 of my tracks I'm not using a me. It's overload. It's like the way Gold Chuck has been served, like every tour, it's ranked and ACR, that could be applied. You just don't make a track where there's just not a whole bunch of me's next to them. Like it can't be that difficult. Like
Yeah, exactly. And I think that answers the question for you, Studfit. I think it's like we're still picking up these items. Poochie, you go like, I would love my 105 rubies back. Put him back on the shelf. And everyone in my Discord says the same thing. Poochie's super dead. But if hindsight's 2020, if we were looking back now and Poochie had all the exclusive buffs, we'd be saying, man, this is great value that I got. God, I'm so glad I picked him up for 105 rubies. So again, there is still a gacha element to this game. It's still going on. Yes, the pipes have gone away, but you still are gambling. We're still all gambling on different things. What we invest in, what we pick up, it's still there. There's still that element to the game. And so it's really up to you. Like for me, sometimes the decision is around, do I have enough rubies to actually pick up this new, I'll tell you one thing I do. I don't buy ruby purchase items when they're on special. So like the gold Cupid's arrow, I'm not going to buy it on either account using 70 rubies. And the reason I do that, and you might say, oh, that's stupid, because if you need it in 3 tours time, you're not going to be able to get it. And when it does come out, it's 100 rubies. But for me, I actually would prefer to wait to see if it's a valuable item. And guess what? On my free-to-play account, now I have a choice of gold Cupid's arrow or silver Cupid's arrow because they're both there in the spotlight shop without any money. So that's how I play the game on both of my accounts, because I don't need to take a risk.
Well, the hard thing about all this too is Nintendo always changes the mechanisms of the game. So all these things we're making these like definitive answers on or decisions on right now could change in a minute. Like one huge eye opener to me, like in reference to this question this week, is I just got to tier 99 this week, which
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's been like a slow progress, right?
Challenges. You can't wait. They're so much fun.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited. But then at the same time, I log into my account and I've gotten 3 top 1,000 badges, right? Like I don't compete ACR very often. And this week I'm going against a guy who I think has like 10 plus, maybe 15 ACR top 10 badges. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if I'm going to be in tier 99, like these are the people I'm going to be up against, and I have to play the me game, unless Mario, aka Nintendo, does something cool where like I think it'd be really fun if they ever want to like balance the game out again. We have a course where it's like me, like the top shelf me's get the boost or whatever. It'd be really cool to have something like that in ranked with like original characters, where like you guys were mentioning earlier, they have a race that have no me's on top, but all the original characters get like a boost. Like something like that would change the game.
Just supers or just normals.
Yeah.
That would be so cool, man. A track with just like normals or supers. I think that would be
so fun.
Yeah, I totally like anytime I'm feeling, I think we all feel this, something needs to be changing. I know we're getting a lot of tracks, but there's still this me meta that's going on. I mean, you can say things like level 9 or whatever. I don't know, but something different. I don't know how Nintendo has popped up with things in the past, and of course, sometimes people really hate it at the beginning. But I think at the moment, any change is a good change. Just because otherwise,
I mean, it could be worse. I don't know. I don't have an example right now, but we've seen examples in the past.
Well, bottom line.
It generates. Sorry.
No worries. But I was saying, bottom line, they need to stop with the me's eventually. They need to cut this out because, you know, as someone that I went for top 10 last tour, obviously I had to invest in the me's. If not, I wasn't gonna get the badge. So like, you know, I took that yellow me, you know, racing suit to 8 triple, and then bronze me, I took that to 8 triple. And then I took my least favorite me ever, which is the glary me racing suit, because I really can't stand that me anymore after what it did to me. You know, like, it's just sad. After investing in, I'm like, man, I cannot use my coin boxers anymore. I can't use PGP. I can't use Peach Vacation or Yoshi Gold, Egg Gold something, whatever Studfit calls it. You know, like,
What's the origin of this, by the way?
I mean, you still can. They're still there. You just have to pick them. Just have to pick them.
Dare I say, you have to
Yeah,
play
1,000 less points.
suboptimally. Yeah.
I mean, why are your Cowboys still there? But
He is there.
I will always choose PGP. The only reason she's not 8 quad is because Krim keeps shaming me not to do it. That's the only reason.
Some Kareem pressure. I like it,
Yeah,
man.
it's awful.
I don't pick anybody.
Sure.
But
No. Honestly, that's what's great about the community, is that we all talk each other into things, and we're all like super hyper sensitive to all the things going on. But ultimately, there are a lot of people who just probably people it's the ones who don't listen to this, that are just having fun and just casually playing the game. And some of us are, you know, who are in Discords and watching YouTube, and like, we're so in it, and like every little trickle, everything that has an impact has another counter impact. And then we talk about it, and data mining and toolboxes, and like, we're just so in it, and we're addicted. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. So I'm glad that I have you guys. We're all in the same boat, with the same addiction, and it's good to be in the same pool with you guys. So I love you guys so much. We are at time. We've hit 2 hours together. Can you believe it already?
We got through like 4 of the questions.
yeah, we still have to talk about next tour.
Pretty easy.
I'm sorry.
We only got halfway through, but yeah, I definitely unfortunately have to wrap it up based on stuff that we have with family in town. So but thank you guys all for joining. This was a great episode. I enjoyed all this. I mean, the thing is, like, we could be talking about me's for 5 or 6 hours, and it's always something that we talk about here on Kart Talk, because it is changing things. And we didn't even get to some of the me related conversations, but ultimately, I mean, this game is a blast. I still love it. I don't understand. I mean, they're giving us brand new tracks every tour, sometimes 3 new tracks. I mean, I've been loving the tracks we've been getting. It's just such a fun experience. And this Daisy circuit, man, has been to me one of the breaths of fresh air that just.
Yeah.
And if they give us 3 tracks next tour, maybe 2 of them are duds, but Wario Stadium is going to be phenomenal. We're going to have an absolute blast. So yeah, I personally, for me, it's like just having fun with the tracks, having fun with the characters, and then finding that life that before I had to like force myself to have a work-life balance and game life balance, but now it's like, I think, much more natural for me just to have a good balance there. And thankfully, I think a lot of that pressure is off. So you either enjoy it or you don't. And if you don't like it, I don't think anyone's like forcing you to or shaming you if there's something like that to make sure that you're enjoying it. So with that being said, I thought we just wrap up and just I think as we close out the game, close out this episode, one thing I'd like for you guys to do is just say one thing that you're thankful for in the community. And I'll start out because I just asked you the question, didn't prep you at all. But one of the things I'm just so thankful for personally is ER. It's not something I bring up a lot on different topics, and there is something about it that's like, it keeps me going, keeps me challenged. And even when I feel like I don't, like right now, I don't feel like doing top 100 just because I'm like, we got family in town, but it's like, to me, it's like, I don't want to let down my team in a fun, and in like a way that's like, my team is they're out there grinding, they're out there pushing themselves. And because of that, like, I don't want to let them down. And so I think I think I like, whether it was me playing, football and basketball and other team sports growing up, it's like it's a team environment. So again, I try not to bring it up too much because it's I don't want people to feel left out and stuff. But I just want to say I'm thankful for ER, and especially the 3 ER member or 4 ER members that are on this call. So thank you guys. Thank you for pushing me. And honestly, I wouldn't enjoy it as much doing it by myself. So thank you. Anyone else want to have something to thankful for in the community?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I'm similar to you, Stud. I think the community is where it's at with this game, and it's really making it much more sustainable than I think the game otherwise would have been for many of us. And specifically, I just want to shout out to my specific community. What's been really cool is we've actually had a lot of new players recently, quite new to the game, ranked tier 28, and really trying to grind things out. And what's been really cool is just the amount of people who have so much knowledge and experience in the game being able to jump in and say, hey, invest in this, don't invest in this, like actually do some analysis on your account. And one thing is around a lot of new players are still trying to max out normals and actually advising them, hey, that might not be the best kind of thing to do. You're a free to play or a gold pass only player and you're new to the game. Maybe think about doing things in a different way. So just really want to shout out to the amazing community, people like Flo, a Turtle Dude, some of my mods over there, Larry and Puffton, but also just all of the other incredible people that we've got over on Discord who really make the community what it is and help out our new players.
Awesome. Who else? Thank you.
Going to be very similar to what Matt said. It is definitely the community. I was going to say to you, Studfit, that the video you put out on the extra box, I did not know that, and I subsequently got my 200 run because of that. So, that took me back. That was like the sort of videos I used to, I would go on YouTube. They'd be all around, that really sort of took me back. I really enjoyed that. And then the thing that I'm really grateful for, and the thing that I actually enjoy the most actually is helping other people. And now they may not always request that help, but no, that's actually not true. I will spend a lot of time looking at people's sort of sheets or making things, and they always end up saying like, oh God, sorry for taking. I'm like, I enjoy doing this sort of thing. I enjoy doing, and I like giving to them. And then it's for that very, like you and Matt and Frenzy fans and Sammy at the very beginning, like give so much to me that like if I was to stop playing now, like I would still want to be involved in this community. It's so, I know everyone's going to say that the same sort of things, but it is absolutely the crux of everything. If this community did not happen or was not here, honestly, it's Tetris on your phone. It's
yeah,
it really is. So thank you, and thank you to Avi as well, because whenever I have new ideas to do stuff, I pretty much always give them to her first to shoot down, and she's very patient.
Nod's your number one fan? Okay, I've been replaced.
Oh boy, Well, hey, by the way,
I haven't finished. You're not my number one fan. I said you're my only fan. So if you want to start an only fan.
Did you say you have an OnlyFans? Would you say, Kareem?
Yeah,
I said if you want to start an OnlyFans. No. I've always said
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into a battle on the game. Whomever wins that battle gets to be Karim's number one fan. And we'll just sort out that way.
You're both going to try and lose as quickly as possible. That'll be fun to watch. But no, honestly, thanks. And Matt, great stuff on your channel. I've spent a lot of time over there with Ticket Time.
Yeah, Ticket Time's fun.
It's been really cool playing around with that. Flo's a great bloke as well. Like, I love his responses that really like detail, like obviously pays a lot of attention to what you know, they're not just offhand remarks and stuff. And I also love watching Frenzy Fans videos. I watched the one with Clarrington. I was just sitting in the bath, and it was great fun. I was like, it's entertainment, honestly.
That's you guys in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
It's a peaceful thing, I think.
So unsanitary to
fun.
take your devices into the bathroom. Like, no.
So
They don't
I
break
don't
in
drop
there.
it. I don't put it in the water.
Good. But I
All
don't.
right, moving on to Kareem's only fan. I mean, only number one fan. Hero, what are you thankful for?
Yeah, so I
Any
guess what I'm really yeah, I guess what I'm really grateful for is like what everyone mentioned, like the community, because like, you know, after I received my badge, my Discord blew up. And when I say blew up, I mean like I got 20 notifications. I know most of you guys get like 1,000 or maybe 10,000 notifications, but you know, just people just congratulating me on, you know, top 10. And I couldn't believe it, because like I was like, you know, it's just a badge. I'm glad I got it, but it's like all the amount of support I received, you know, throughout my run was just, you know, amazing. I got I got it. What's up?
For people who don't know, like, he's a seriously good player.
Yes.
Well beyond anything I could do. Like, he was very, very modest. And he deserved that top 10 long before than now. And the scores that he got were things that I couldn't get anywhere near. Like, very well done, man. And don't worry, Avi's gone. You're number one.
There you go.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna take
boy.
actions on this.
Do we need a fan off?
Just,
We'll settle this in the VC private. But anyways,
Yeah,
back to what I was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Take it off if you don't
But
mind.
yeah, Frenzy fans, keep you guys keep continuing with your vids. I'll continue to provide clips with y'all with your funny moments like always. You know, and Frenzy fanboy, I'll join your club in terms of like, you know, not interested in me's anymore. I want to have an original character, so put me on your list.
I'm in.
And what else I was gonna say? But yeah, thank you to everyone that supported me throughout my top 10 run. I'm glad I finally got it. I don't need to save tickets anymore. I can just spend, you know, willy-nilly. Like I took the Kareem B Dasher Mach 2 to 8, you know, which was amazing because I was waiting for that to happen. And yeah, thanks again. And you know, and Kareem, like always, we finally met in Kart Talk after so many requests and stuff. So it's been an honor, man, and a privilege. So you know, even though you're number one on the Pick Crew Chief and you won't let us become number one on Sammy's list, which is fine, you're still a very nice and genuine person I've ever met. So
Oh, very sweet. Very sweet. All right. Well, we'll wrap up with one thing or two things that you guys are thankful for in the community. Frenzy Fans Guy and Frenzy Fans Girl. And then we'll let Frenzy Fans Guy send us out. How's that sound? Like old times.
good times.
Go for it. You can go first.
Why don't you go? Because I'll send this off.
Okay, I guess I think the one thing I'm most grateful for about the community, well, outside of everything that everybody has said, like the obvious that it's just like this really cool place that you can meet new people, all that type of stuff. I love that the community lets me personally show up as I am. Like the fact that I'm just sitting here right now with 4 ER like drivers and Matt, who's brilliant in data. Like I joke that the only thing I really add to the community are like my giggles because I don't know what's going on half the time and stuff. But like I'm just grateful that people actually tune in, they hang out with us, they like us, and then just the amount of support that you get like when you are trying to accomplish something like similar to Hero. I got so many people reaching out and saying, hey, congrats on top like or tier 99. And I don't know. I think it's one of the most selfless communities I've been in a sense, from like just like a casual gaming side hobby type thing. So I just think it's a very selfless community and I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think one of the things that I like most about the community is since we've been doing a lot more live streams, it's so fun getting on with so many people and like, you know, especially like opening up the tour and getting like hot takes and just doing jokes and then like all the tangents that we go on. Oh my dear good gosh.
So many tangents.
I swear, like sometimes like over half of our episodes, just like we just wander off into like the Milky Way or the sunset or whatever. Like
And they're funny moments.
so crazy. So anyway, I think like it's fun every 2 weeks, kind of having like we have like a tour wrap up and then like a new tour reaction Tuesday night / Wednesday mornings. That I think that's probably the funnest part.
Yeah.
Being able to interact with the community in that way. So,
and I mentioned it earlier, but I really do mean it. Like, shout out and thank you to everyone who jumps on our live stream. And when I mean selfless, like it really means selfless. Like Kareem, he owns a company, he's busy, he's a top 10 player. He literally jumps on just to get 8th place in my multiplayer, just so I can like
at 5 a.m. his
I had
time.
a company. I think it's gone under in the last 10 days. I don't know what's been happening. But no, honestly, like I was going to say to you guys, obviously don't change your schedule and whatnot. I would love, like, I love the frantics and the frolics of your guys' stream. I like the vibe there. It sort of is different to every other one. Just the time zones are just like don't match with London. So if you want to move a few hours, sort of, east, I think we get on famously.
Back to Atlanta for them.
yeah,
No,
this is
it's the same
hours
time
less.
in everywhere in the world, right? The reset is reset.
'Cause the earth is flat.
A little bit to the right, as in,
Wow.
But,
All right. Yeah. And we didn't land on the moon. So, Frenzy Fan Guy, you want to set us off?
All right.
Mhm.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us in this episode. And until the next, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
See you guys.